I've got paper cuts. I've got paper cuts on top of paper cuts. How big time could I think I was? I was sleeping with fucking ratatouilles. In my head, I just thought, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. I walked so you could run.
Vicky, welcome to Celebrity, the show where we spill the tea on your career while we enjoy a delicious cup of tea. So today for you, we have some peppermint tea. I hear this is your fave.
I know, I'm really boring.
Why
Jeff.
is that?
So sorry. I just, God, it's not very quintessentially British of us, but I never got into the whole coffee and tea hype. And when I tell you the anxiety I feel when someone goes when I have someone come to the house and they want a hot drink, because I don't make them for myself. So I don't know what's right. I don't know how much coffee you put in. I don't know how long you keep the tea bag in there. Honestly, my heart beats like I'm being hunted for sport when someone asks for a hot drink, because that's all I know how to do.
I am with you 100%. As an American moving to this country, when I've bring people in here and they're like, oh yeah, Jeff, can we get tea? And it's like my life freezes because people are so particular.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I know it's not that hard. There's only 3 ingredients, the tea, the milk, and the water, but it can get so wrong.
I'm telling you right now, mate, it's so nuanced and everybody wants it in a slightly different way, and we're all so particular. Everybody wants it just so. No, I understand the pressure.
Yeah, it's scary. Well, cheers. Thank you for being here today. I'm excited to chat with you.
Thank you for having us.
I want to talk about where it all started. Good old Geordie Shore.
God, you're going back 15 years, Jeff.
How on earth does one even get cast on that show? How did it come about?
I feel like this is such a debauched story, and I can already feel my publicist's bumhole twitching. Let's get into it. I was 21, I think, and had just graduated uni. I started working in bars and nightclubs again, going out with the same fellas I'd been going out with. It was all just very much a step backwards that I hadn't anticipated post-university. MTV at the time had decided they wanted a British version of Jersey Shore. What MTV did is they sent out loads of young producers on nights out on the Lash in Newcastle. And they would basically just wander around and scope out who they thought would make a good TV character, you know? But yeah, one night out in particular, I was out with my mate, and one of the producers was out in a club on his own, and I was like, are you out on your own? And he was like, no, I'm working. I was like, well, you look like you're out on your own, mate, and it's creepy, come with us. So we're all having this great time, we're in the DJ booth, we're dancing on the podiums, we're doing shots, just chaos. And I'm telling him this story in the VIP, which was just a little cordoned off area of a club. It wasn't anything special. Yeah. And I'm telling him this story, and I'm super animated, my arms are everywhere, and in my haste to impress this guy, I've knocked a drink over on a girl. Anyone familiar with my previous work will think, yeah, of course it was an accident, but I swear it was an accident. And she's fuming, and she had every right to be, you know. And then as I was walking off, the girl was like, yeah, that's right, walk away. So I turned around and I said to her, I didn't throw a drink at you. It was an accident, because if I'd wanted to throw a drink here, I would have done this. And I took her drink off and threw it in her face.
Damn, honestly, respect.
So in that moment, of course, the doorman comes
I
running
love
in.
that move, I'm sorry.
Oh God, I that's one of those things that keeps me awake at night still.
No, I love it.
So she was kicking and screaming. We literally ran out the bar, had to run to the fire escape because obviously the doormen were coming and we're going to get thrown out. We ended up in a gay club till 5 o'clock in the morning, dancing in a podium, pink cowboy hats on, just having a brilliant time. We had to walk him back to his hotel because he was that pissed. He couldn't even stand up. I remember putting him in his hotel room and him being like, Vicky, don't audition, don't meet the execs, just please be on the show. And I was like, if you still mean that tomorrow, give us a ring. And he did.
Nice.
And the rest is history.
Wow, that's insane.
So, I am a different person now. I just want to go on record, but we've all been young and daft.
The other cast members on the show, did you know any of them beforehand? Were you friends with them beforehand?
Yeah, so there was obviously 8 of us. The lads, a lot of them were from Newcastle, which is where I'm from. So I knew Gary, and I knew Greg, and I knew James. One of my pals had actually pulled James not that many weeks before, so very incestuous.
That's so funny. What is something about production that might surprise fans?
This might shock everyone. So the first series was in a different location. It was in a really nice terraced house in a quite affluent area in Newcastle called Jesmond. And I think the houses at the time were going for about 1.3, 1.4 million. And we rented it for a 6-week run to make the show. We definitely weren't as careful with it as we should have been because it was a gorgeous home. When it actually came out, I think we managed to devalue not just that house, but the entire street by something like 400,000 on every home. I know, how bad's that? How furious would you be if you were one of the homeowners in that street? Yeah. So they moved us then on from series 1 and put in a warehouse, but it was more like a set rather than an actual home. So it lacked the warmth. So it was like in the winter it was freezing and it was in the summer it was boiling. We had rats in the winter, flies in the summer. Like honestly, they make it look so fun and like, but it was grim. It was really
felt
grim.
like proper filming a reality show as opposed to like living in a beach house or you're in a house with friends.
Yeah, no, it was like, we were in the trenches, mate.
Oh, wow.
I don't miss that. I don't miss that.
So fair. When was the time that you realized like, oh, I'm famous?
I think definitely when we were on Geordie Shore, we never believed we were famous. We never thought that there was anything special about it. What made the show successful is that we repeatedly continued to act like we were just a bunch of like young people from the northeast doing really debauched, wild, chaotic things. Had we ever sort of like believed any hype or thought like, oh gosh, like I'm a celeb now, that would have ruined the entire format. And I'm grateful.
You were staying in a warehouse with rats in it, so
Jesus,
yeah.
how big time could I think I was? I was sleeping with Ratatouille, so no, I'm fine with how they chose to do things.
You have had many funny one-liners that people have said. People requote and gif and meme you all the time. Yeah. What's your reaction to some of the, still hearing some of them today? Are there lines that still follow you?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be out on a night out and girls will just run over to me. Not that I go out very often, God, I'm so boring. But if I am ever anywhere, I'll get girls run up to me and be like, I've got paper cuts. I've got paper cuts on top of paper cuts. And I'm like, oh.
Why that line?
I don't know.
What is it?
People are so desperate for me to recreate it as well. And I'm like, I just couldn't. I don't know where that rant came from. Like, I'm not an actress. There's no way I could give you that again. I'm so sorry. I think the Ferrero Rocher one people really like. You know, you're not a knight in shining armour. You're something with a quiff. There's a lot. It's nice to think that my silly ramblings brought people joy.
How do you feel Geordie Shore changed your life?
Would be remiss if I didn't give Geordie Shore the credit it deserves for where I am now. I'm really lucky I managed to parlay like a stint on reality TV into a career that's lasted like 15 years. I'm so grateful to it for giving me the platform I've got, for allowing me to have the career I've got.
From ripping shots in the clubs in Newcastle to eating bugs and doing weird in the jungle?
Yes, quite a jump.
How did that come about?
I've been a big fan of the show. You've been here a while. You know what I'm a celeb means to everybody. I think mine was the first year that they were like branching out and they were really realising the gravity that reality TV stars could have, you know? It was becoming a juggernaut, reality TV, and I think you had to get on board, you know? You had to acknowledge the Made in Chelseas, the Towies, the Geordie Shores, whatever it was, because that's what young people were watching. Yeah. So they took a real leap of faith.
Not you being a trailblazer.
I know.
Yeah, look at that.
Didn't you think of it like that?
The ground you've laid for people these days.
I walked so you could run. No,
I love that.
Yeah, but they put me in, and they put Spencer Matthews from Made in Chelsea, and they put Fern McCann from Towie, and it was like a trifecta, and everybody was furious. When they found out we were going in, like Twitter, as it was at the time, and the press were just like, we don't want them in there, reality TV scum, and blah, blah, blah. And I went in there hoping to just show a different side of myself, you know, from the loud, over-opinionated, quite brash version of me. I wanted to say there was a softer, a kinder, a team player. They didn't want me in for the first 24 hours. The public was fuming, the press was fuming. Everybody was just so precious about the jungle. And then within 24 hours, I was the favourite to win.
Awesome. Wow, from the start, yeah.
Stayed that way. Well, from when I went in, I was a late arrival, so there probably was other people before me, but no, it was very validating to go in and be able to change public perception in one fell swoop. Many people don't get that opportunity. I'm grateful.
But why the hell would you want to go on that show? Like, when I think about reality TV shows, I mean, I guess because it is an institution, but like, I don't want to do any of that.
No, did you not? So I would much rather be like balls deep in like insects and guts and sort of like fish eyes, which I absolutely was, than go on something like Big Brother, where I just would consider myself to be a caged animal. But the jungle, you're doing trials, you're doing challenges, you're being pushed to the limit, but physically and mentally, like you're becoming more proud of yourself as you go. It's such a good experience. Like, how many people get the chance to go and like. And I will say this about the camp as well, like everybody thinks it's gonna look like a set, or it's gonna be like, you know, they're gonna shout cut and people run on with like Mars bars for you all and everything. It is not like that. I've actually done it twice. So I did I'm a Celeb for the UK TV, and then I flew out to South Africa and did I'm a Celeb for Australian TV. So Geordie had a big following out there. And it was interesting to see the different dynamics of the two. The UK one, I think, is exactly what you see on the telly.
Okay.
We're hungry, we're sweaty, we're tired, dripping like an egg sandwich, you are in the jungle, right? And it is that. But like, I watched in the Australian one, people complain about them being hungry. They were like, I'm hungry, I'm so hungry, I'm starving. And they'd come back, they'd get called to the little tok-tocky, which is what they call it, it's a push telegraph in the UK. But they'd come back with a little cereal bar. And I'd think, they would never in the UK.
No.
Never.
No.
You don't know you are born.
Yeah. Wow.
So it was very real and very as you see on the TV, and I think that's kind of important. That's special.
I agree.
The authenticity of it.
Are there any production secrets or anything that surprised you being in there that might shock people?
I will say Ant and Dec were like the absolute highlight of that experience. Like when you see them, because you're in your camp doing your little things, you're like changing the dunny and getting the firewood and cracking on with your campmates. You all stink. You're all in the same boat. But then when you go and see Ant and Dec do a trial, and there's all the crew, and you see the cameras, because you don't see any cameras in camp. It's all low key. So when you see it all, you think, oh God, I am really on a big TV show. And you smell Ant and Dec, and you're like, God, you smell lush. Because they smell so great compared to you.
Yeah, I'm sure you can smell that from a mile off.
Oh
It's
my
a new
God,
scent
yeah.
in town, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. So what was that moment like winning? What emotions came over you?
Got to think, like when I was in Geordie Shore, mate, we can all look back and laugh now, but at the time, it was very divisive. Yeah. And ultimately, I did get a lot of hate. Yeah. Whether that was warranted or not, I was wild, and I did a lot of things that I'm not proud of, and I do regret. So I was not universally loved. So when I went in the jungle and people got to see this different side, and I did realise I was liked, that felt like, oh no mate, that was just like such validation.
And then how do you feel like your life and career changed following being on the show and the win?
I don't want to say it was like more poignant for me than Geordie Shore, because quite rightly I would never be where I am now, and I would have never got the opportunity to do I'm a Celeb without Geordie Shore. But that was the moment things changed for the better, and I was able to do like TV I really wanted to do, and I was almost a bit mainstream, which is something I'd never been before.
Talk me through my deepfake sex tape, how that came about.
God, what a change of tone we've had now, Jeff.
Yeah.
I do believe in order to tackle the quite big issues like sort of deep fake abuse and alcoholism, like have been both of my documentary topics, you do have to be quite loud and deliberate in order to make something bold and impactful, and I do believe we did that. And I'm really proud of what we created and the conversation that we helped start. Good. Even now, like in my taxi to work this morning, my driver was such a nice man, and he was like, Vicky, I watched your show and I made my daughters watch it. Oh. Because so many people just don't know that this latest iteration in abuse and violence against women is going on. Yeah. I myself was so shocked when we started like looking into it and stuff, at just how depraved and just how big it is, And
to be a part of educational programming that a parent can sit their child down to teach them, that's unreal.
This is the latest iteration in violence against women, and we need to be educating. We need to be like advocating for ironclad legislation around it. Not only that, but we need to be showing the victims a bit more compassion. And the only way we do that is by giving this horrendous topic more sunlight. Yeah. More honest discourse.
I mean, there's a lot of really difficult conversations that need to be had, but they shouldn't be that difficult, because if they're really happening in real life, it needs to be brought to the forefront. Yeah. And I think there's a lot of work to be done. Yeah. So what else? What are other topics or subjects you'd like to explore?
As a woman, I think we need to be educating ourselves. We need to be standing up. We need to be speaking for those who can't speak for themselves. We need to be advocating, championing each other and the causes that matter. And whether that is accessible and safe abortion, whether that is like teaching young boys and to respect women, well, that is standing up against these misogynistic influences, whatever it may be. But that's the TV I want to make.
Yeah, I'm amazed by your passion and your want to make these differences and these changes, and using your platform for it. So hopefully, many more to come.
I'm like on my little soapbox a bit. Honestly, I can feel my husband getting so sick of us. I'm like,
but you have a soapbox, so get on it.
Yeah.
Everyone get on your soapbox. Like,
I'll do it.
Yeah. From the soapbox we're on to Honesty Box.
What a nice segue.
Yeah, thanks. I know, I just came up with that. Yeah, talk to me about Honesty Box. How'd that come about?
So obviously, being a huge reality TV fan, having my roots in reality, it wasn't going to be long before I found my way back, I think. And I'm wearing a slightly different hat, however, in this. I'm a host.
Nice.
Which is really
Coming
nice.
from my gig, but that's okay. That's okay. There's plenty of room.
Safe, I swear. Yeah, I hope I do it justice because the format is brilliant. It has all of the familiar traits of reality TV shows that you know and love. I'm talking bikini-clad babes. I'm talking tattooed hunks, sunset scenery, and a fantastic villa. Everybody's bed hopping and getting to know each other and looking for connections, and we love that. But it does have an added exciting element in the form of AI technology, and we use it as a lie detector. So it's like 87 to 90% accurate. It's an experiment. The idea is we're trying to work out, is honesty always the best policy? Absolute honesty in relationships, which of course I've always advocated for, actually.
I imagine you'll say the AI technology, but what makes this show different than other dating shows?
There's money on the line if they lie. They're all trying to and that's the thing, will you lie to save your relationship or tell the truth to get the money? And it's just, oh my gosh, so many layers, and it is fantastic.
Wow. I want you to quiz me on Geordie slang.
Worky ticket.
Worky ticket. Is that 2 words?
It's 2 words, worky ticket, yeah. Do you want us to use it in a sentence?
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm not going out with Jenna again. She's a right worky ticket.
She's too much to handle.
Pretty much.
But why is she a worky ticket? What does that mean?
She's a worky ticket, troublemaker, naughty. But well done, I think you got worky ticket.
All right, I'll take it.
Tick. Right, chocker. I think
Chocker. I've heard that, but I don't know what it means. Is it chocker? Is that someone that's attractive?
No. Shall I sentence?
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good last night. It was absolutely chocker in the club.
Oh, is it really packed full?
Yes!
Yeah.
Chocker block, fettle.
I've never even heard of that as a word, fettle. I honestly have no clue.
I know.
Yeah, okay, sentence.
It's hard, isn't it? It's really hard. Well, he was in a fine fettle this morning, so good luck.
It's like someone in a bad mood.
Yes! This one's cute, and I think you might get it. Scran.
Like cheap or broke, or
Oh, no. Are you coming out tonight to get a bit of scran?
Are you coming out to food?
Yeah!
Coming out to eat with us?
Yeah, coming out to get a bit of scran. Bane. They do say this up Scotland and all.
I have no clue.
I can't come out at the weekend. I'm taking the bairns to the zoo.
Kids?
Yes!
Why? we don't need new words for all these. What do you think is one of the most shocking aspects of the British life or Geordie life that would shock Americans the most?
I think it must be the drinking culture.
Yeah.
Obviously, I know I grew up watching shows like Geordie Shore and The Real World, we spoke about it and all that, but ultimately, I do think they think Americans, and this might be a complete generalisation, but I feel like you do your drinking when you're at college, you know, or when you're on spring break or whatever.
That's good.
Yeah? Spring break. But then the rest of the time, I do believe you're quite a really normal, respectable member of society. And I don't know how much you guys drink. I'm assuming you do love to have a drink and let your hair down, but for us there's a real culture of drinking and alcohol. And in fact, binge drinking in some instances, you know what I mean?
I can confirm that. And how about American culture? Anything about American culture that shocks you the most?
I will say when I was last there, I was shocked by the size of the portions.
Oh my God.
I remember going in Disney and everything's just massive. And my sister burst into tears because she was like, I just want a normal sized pizza. And it was like a fucking dustbin lid. And I was like, oh my God, we're not in Kansas anymore, Toto. So I think that is one thing.
What kid's crying about having too much pizza on their plate? If you could make your own reality show, cast it maybe 6 people, who would be on it and what would you do on it?
I love the traveling element of TV. I'm always, whenever I see some sort of travel log, I'm always in. So I'm gonna go Chris and Rosie Ramsey, then let's have Lucinda Light from Honesty Box, plug that. Joel Lycett, absolute scream. Colleen Nolan, absolute weapon. And Rylan.
Oh, okay.
And me, and we're all traveling. We're going to the best hen and stag do destinations. I'm a commissioner. I'm a TV commissioner.
I'm in. Oh my God, that's so good. Channel 4, get on it. Have you had any exciting celeb DMs or a celeb ever make a comment to you that really surprised you? Oh my God, do you know my work? Or...
A couple over the years. One, I posted this reel, just a comedy one, just being really silly, and The Rock actually commented.
What's he doing?
I don't know, he was like, I've no idea. He actually said, he was in disbelief, bless him. He was like, I've no idea where this is on my timeline. But he was like, it's funny. So I was just like, wow, I was beside myself when he did that.
Is there a career move that you almost made that you didn't and you're glad? you didn't do it?
I mentioned Big Brother earlier, didn't I? And years ago, it used to be on Channel 5, and I had a meeting to do it. And at the time, they offered me an amount of money that I just could never hope to. And I decided it wasn't for me.
Is there a show that is currently on TV that you would love to do?
So I habitually watch Gogglebox and think, God, I just want to be sitting on my telly with me snacks and my husband and my dogs.
Like, I'm doing that anyway, so sign me up. I'm with you.
Pay me to do that. Like, I would love to do that.
Have you ever read a tabloid headline that wasn't true, that like you learned something about yourself?
The Mirror got in touch with me once about 5 years ago, and they were like, it's April Fool's Day. We want to run something really like out there and wacky. Could we do something with you? And I was like, yeah, defos, let's do it. They came up with this idea. Kanye was just with Kim and they'd had a baby and he wanted her to like lose the baby weight. And he was being quite vocal about it, I think, at the time. Anyway, they were like, he's touring in the UK, or he has. He's spotted you and all your fitness DVD stuff. He can't believe your transformation. He loves your Geordie, no nonsense attitude, and is moving you to LA to be Kim Kardashian's personal trainer. In my head, I just thought, that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever read. No one's gonna believe it. Great April Fool, go for it. When I tell you, I had people messaging me congratulating us. Other press outlets ran it as the gospel truth.
Yeah.
Like the Daily Mail ran it as like it was fact, like Vicky's off to LA, pack your cases, pet. Honestly, these outlets wouldn't speak to me for months because they'd been hoodwinked.
Wow.
I know.
And we will end on, what is one piece of advice you would give to your younger self with what you know now?
Oh, lay off the fake tan, mate. Honestly, I was practically radioactive. I look back and I thought I was like Grecian goddess, but I was like tangled. It was honestly terrible. But also I think it's really important to mention, if I tried to give myself advice as like a teen or a 20-something, there's no way that version of me would listen to this version. She would think this version was a boring pale cow. She'd think, shut up. Because you think you know it all at that age, don't you?
Yeah, totally. All right, it was so amazing to chat with you. Thank you so much. Cheers again. Congratulations on everything. And thanks for being here.
Such a nice time.